This is 12 of 25 videos for PTSD tips. So for today, there's gonna be an activity. And what I'm gonna do, we're gonna watch a video, and during the video, you're gonna write down some things. You're gonna write down the initial thoughts that come to your mind without any analysis. You're gonna look at the people in the video and write down what you think about those people and kind of what you think caused the entire situation. I'm not going to tell you much about what the video is about or what the topic is today. I want to have a clear mind and allow you just to roll in it. So I'm going to pause the video here, give you a few seconds to grab a pen and paper, and get ready.
Hey!
Open it. Open it. Open. Open it now.
No, don't open.
Open it.
No.
Now open.
No, come on. Hey, come on, look at me. Yeah.
I'm going to see you.
Get your hands up!
On the ground.
On the ground! On the ground! On the ground!
All the way down. Your hands. Your hands. Let's go. Let's go.
So what were your initial thoughts? Now think about this. So this African-American male comes in with a gun and he's robbing, taking money from people who have actually earned the money. He's got a weapon. There's a ladies in there. There's babies. There's all kinds of things that can pop in your mind. Oh, he's real tough. A bunch of ladies. He's got a gun, and then the cops come in, and so think about your initial thoughts. And I'm going to tell you what I started thinking, how my thought process went when I saw this, and then I'm going to tell you how I've came to develop the ability to do this. So first, it came in, this guy's robbing, and my mind's thinking, man, I hate that people, I've been robbed before. People take a bike, people steal stuff. I remember someone stole my underwear in basic training. It's like, what? You hate getting things stolen from you, and you see that and you get so upset. And I was like, of course, initial thought, because I'm white and I have biases in here, and your mind starts to think more along the racial lines. But no, I stopped a second and I'm like, I'm glad that the ladies were able to leave, so no one got hurt. I'm glad nobody got shot. And then I start to think, well, what led this kid to rob? Why is he robbing money? Unless he is kind of like a sociopath that gets off from robbing, more than likely he just needs the money and he doesn't have a good job. And what has led to that? I mean, if you want to dig deep into history and see if there find systematic racism that kind of makes it difficult for the African American culture to take advantage of some of the government policies that help them break out of poverty. Maybe you're looking at that. Maybe you're looking at our poor justice system, how African American fathers stay in prison way too long for nonviolent crimes, and now maybe his father's in prison and doesn't have someone to help him, and so it's just going to be a vicious cycle, And then also I was thinking, he is a child of God and he is making mistakes, and I really hope that he will repent from this and then maybe learn from it and then maybe make a change and grow and help other people out there that are in the same type of situation. And then the other thought that came into my mind, as you saw he had a gun and the police came in, you couldn't see the gun. This guy's got a pistol on him and the police don't know. We don't realize what kind of stress it is that the police are going under right now. That's why they approach every situation like this. They have no idea what they're walking into. They have no idea if this is just a college kid trying as hard as he can, stuck in the wrong situation, or someone who loves to kill cops. That's why they have to go in like that. And having an open mind like that, understanding everybody helps you understand this. Now, going back to what I just did is part of cognitive behavioral therapy. It's where stimuli enter my head, enter into the frontal cortex. I begin to analyze it and process it immediately and break it apart. That processing is being greatly influenced by my bias, my beliefs, and also not so much my bias and beliefs, but what I see in social media, what social media is telling me. And so that allows us to quickly jump to a conclusion that a lot of times is wrong. And so in cognitive behavioral therapy, we see that initial thought, and then we stop and we challenge it. We challenge the initial thought and we break it down and see, well, what is really happening? This guy, he is a child of God. There's probably some part of him that wants to be successful. His behavior is wrong. He's not a bad person. His behavior is bad, and he needs to change. And you break down the thought, and you start to hunt for the good within each situation. And when doing that, it helps you neurologically. And so the reason I know this well, that's how I initially started seeing a behavioral therapist, was because I didn't realize what was causing me so much stress and anxiety until, first I went to the doctor because I had bruxisms grinding my teeth, and he's like, go see a physical therapist. I'm like, okay. And so we sat down and talked and found out, you peel back the layers, and there would be things that bug me all over, especially in the military. There's standards. You want to see people follow standards. See people breaking laws. You get so upset. And when you focus on that, it's actually creating anxiety and making you more stressful. And now that I've gone through cognitive behavioral therapy and I see stuff all around me, it's nice because I just stop and I challenge my thoughts and I don't let it affect me, and I seem like a happier person. So this is just me saying it, but it is a chemical reaction in the brain that you cannot stop. And let's talk about what happens when you initially see this. This is what happened to you guys as you watch the video. The body detects some type of stress going on, and so this initially, what it does from the frontal cortex, it sends a signal down to the hypothalamus. So he sends a response down to the amygdala. The amygdala, remember we talked about that in other videos? That is where, the fight or flight reaction comes. So he's sending a signal down to there. It's like, hey, somebody's contradicting our beliefs. So it goes into defense mechanism. Whether you're scared of something, or something doesn't seem in your perception of normalcy, that's when this will kick off and the amygdala gets to work. And then signals will be sent down to the adrenal glands, and that's when they start pumping through and sending this message to your entire body so it can prepare for a fight. And so that's why, your eyelids kind of shaking and your muscles twitching, all of that is the response of you having anxiety or stress. And also, of course, that's how it can hurt your heart, because this is all being sent through all parts of your body. It consists of the hormones coming from the pituitary to the adrenaline, and the cortisol is released. And this is essentially hurting your body. That response that your mind has, it's more drastic and extreme when say a PTSD event is triggered and you begin to have that high anxiety and depression. But in small doses, when you don't realize it, when you are on social media and you see something that contradicts your bias and beliefs, and you do not apply cognitive behavioral therapy and begin to reason it, you are causing more stress and anxiety. And especially if you have PTSD, this is making it worse. So I challenge you to do this, especially if you are a far left or far right. Regardless, when you see a meme or a post or a tweet or something that aligns with your beliefs, that is what we call confirmation bias. You like to see that stuff because it tells you, yep, I am right. I feel good. I am right. When you see something like that, don't blindly forward it because it aligns with what you believe. Stop, take some time, research it, and see if it's true. If it does make sense, then maybe you can forward it and back it up with some other data that you found. And I found, so I like to do this a lot on social media. I'm probably more conservative, but Fox News, every day there's crap falling out of their mouth that is false. It's agenda setting theory that was developed many years ago. It's where you kind of give pieces of information, but not the whole thing. They do that a lot. CNN, everyone does it. And I see so many people on social media just sharing something, and then I'll do a little bit of research and I'll see, well, it's wrong. But do you know what? There's going to be two benefits from this. First, and I challenge everyone to do this. If you feel like you want to share something, or you see someone wanting to share something that aligns with what you believe, do some research, because one, you're second guessing it. You're not letting your initial thoughts choose for you what to think. And second, that research, you start to learn stuff. You start to really dig, and then you get into what I talked about on the last one, is you now are exercising that cognitive muscle, which is getting stronger, which is going to further help you overcome the elements of stress, because now that muscles are stronger to challenge those thoughts, because it's all about all the thoughts and feelings that enter through all of our senses are processed through the frontal cortex, and we cannot let it automatically take control. We need to stop and think about it and break it down and see, what does this really mean? And you will see the benefit, and you'll be happier. I mean, remember talking in the other videos, being happy helps relieve stress too, and helps with PTSD. Can you imagine if the entire social media, on every post, they didn't seek to try and find the negative out of every post? You can read it, and I used to be like that, right? I used to love arguing on Facebook and then come back and throw a source or something. Now I found I don't do that. I will kind of sit back, and sometimes I'll reply like, hey, I actually found this, this is what it means. But if I ever do want to comment and kind of say, hey, someone's wrong, I also like to throw in a piece that I know that will kind of see that I'm not being argumentative, but I also found this data point that makes sense. Just kind of like, I'll show you this example. So like, I seen how, a lot of people are saying, we are the worst. Other countries have beat COVID. The U.S. hasn't, and they start to blame it on Trump. I was digging into some statistics like that, and you start to compare the countries about how much COVID they had, and what I really dug into. And so in sharing this with an anti-Trumper, and also explaining some of the issues of why there's so many more deaths in the U.S., what I discovered is the U.S. leads the world in cardiovascular deaths, diseases from cardiovascular. We're the fattest country, we have the highest BMI, and a large majority of the deaths are correlated to cardiovascular disease. But when you dig further, it is also because we lead the world with the least amount of access to healthcare. So if I was going to apply my agenda setting theory, I would leave that piece out. But no, in a loving, kind way of conversing with someone online, I'll be like, well, actually, it's you look at the stats, the amount of cardiovascular deaths we have, we lead the world, and that has a huge impact on the amount of deaths when you look at the percentage of population per deaths. But then also, guess what? It's also because of the conservative views of not getting health care for everybody. I'm kind of balancing out, and like I could go off on an agenda, especially living in Canada for 2.5 years, and showing how, providing health care for everyone, how kind of leads to socialism. I'm not going to really get into that. But you see how I can respond in a way to make everyone happy, type of thing. And that's the tip today. Really applying cognitive behavioral therapy, second guessing the thoughts that come into our mind.